Hello and welcome to Tower of Hats Culinary. Today we are going to be making creme brulee. Pretty easy recipe to make. There's only 5 ingredients. Starting off, you're going to need some heavy cream. You're going to need 5 eggs, or more specifically, the yolks. You're going to need either vanilla bean, or in this case I'm using vanilla bean paste, because vanilla bean tends to be very expensive for a single bean, whereas this you can get 5 or 6 beans worth of vanilla out of it, and I think it tastes better than using extract. You also need a half of a cup of sugar. You're also going to need some more for the top at the very end, which we're going to torch. A little bit of salt. And as far as equipment is concerned, you're going to need a pot, a bowl, another small bowl to separate the egg whites out of, and one of these bad boys. If you don't have one like this, you can find smaller, cheaper ones. They're just kitchen torches, or you can use a broiler. Most ovens have a broiler setting. I just like using fire, so that's what we're going to do. You are also going to need a few ramekins, as well as some kind of baking dish. So let's get started. Starting off, we're going to turn our oven on to 325. And if you have any way to boil water quickly, like an electric tea kettle, I would put that on now because you're going to need some boiling water when they go in the oven. So starting off, we're going to separate our eggs. You can save these egg whites for later use in like an omelet or something like that. So I like to use the eggshell trick. I'm going to go back and forth. All the egg white is gone. Just pour that in the bowl. Now that that's all done, we're going to save the egg whites for later use. All right. You have those separated. You're going to take 2 cups of heavy cream, or 1 pint. You're going to put it over some heat. Now you don't want it to boil, but you do want it to heat up to the point where it's just starting to bubble. And while that's heating up, we're going to take your egg yolks and put them right in the bowl. Try and get any little bit of that yolk out as well. You're going to mix that with your half of a cup of sugar. You're just going to kind of mix it all together. You're also going to add a small pinch of salt, maybe about a half of a teaspoon. Mix, 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 mix. I'm going to let that sit here for just a moment. Get this heavy cream stirred up. You don't want it to stick or burn at the bottom. Just like to constantly move it just a bit. So at this point, we're going to add our vanilla bean paste. The milk is almost simmering. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half vanilla bean. If you want it a little bit more vanilla-y, you can do that. And now that it's starting to boil a little bit, I like vanilla, so we're going to add a little more. we're going to go ahead and turn off the heat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a very little bit of this hot mixture. We're going to pour it in very slowly and only a little bit at a time. You don't want to add too much at once, because what you end up doing is scrambling your egg yolk. You definitely do not want that. So what we're doing right now is we're tempering it. We're combining the cold of the egg yolk and the hot of the heavy cream. They kind of reach a temperature together of warm. Once you've added about a third of the heavy cream, you should be good to transfer it either back into the pan, or in this case, I'm just going to pour from the pan into the bowl. You're going to be constantly stirring the entire time. There we go. Alright, that's kind of hard to see from there, so I'll show you right here. So you have a nice mixture. There's no lumps or scrambled egg inside here. So now the hard part's pretty much done. So what we're going to want to do now is we're going to take our little ramekins. We're going to fill them about most of the way, let's say 80% of the way up. Set them right here inside of a baking pan. Now I do not have a lot of ramekins, nor do I have really big ramekins. So what this does is this allows me to make creme brulee another night. I'm going to store the rest of this in an airtight container. Should be okay in the fridge for a few days, up to a week. Once you have those in the tray, you're going to grab your boiling water and you're going to fill them until they're about halfway up the ramekins. Just like that. Oh, a little bit more. And perfect timing. Oven is preheated, so we're going to pop these in the oven for about 30-35 minutes. Once your 30 to 40 minutes is up, I'm going to pop them open, and don't be stupid, use an actual utensil, but you're just checking for just a little bit of wobble. It's a little hard to see. So that means that they're just set. So now we're going to take them out, put them on top of the stove or on a hot pad or a cutting board, something, and let them get to room temperature. And then we are going to put them in the refrigerator for a couple hours before the next step. So, yeah, look at that jiggle.
You what?
All right, now that our creme brulees are out of the fridge, they've been chilling for about 3 hours now. They hold their shape pretty well, but if you touch them, you can still see they're a little squishy. It actually left my fingerprint in there. But now we get to do my favorite part, the fire. So the easiest part is, and the most fun part for me at least, is the sugar. So you're just going to take some regular granulated sugar and just kind of pour it all over the top. Don't worry, you're not going to be using this much. And you don't want to use this much because you don't want to end up with an unbreakable ice cube. Sugar cube, sorry. So you're going to kind of just swirl that around a little bit until it sticks all over, and then dump the rest back in. And you'll see right there, there is a nice thin layer of sugar. Now what you're going to do, get that out of here, is grab a torch. Like I said, I use the big boy one just because it lasts longer, and it ended up being about the same price as a normal kitchen torch. Kitchen torch is usually a lot smaller flame. They're about 20 bucks. You can usually find them at like Walmart. So what you're going to want to do is very lightly torch them very gently. If you start seeing them bubble, then back off a little bit. But you just want to kind of touch the edges, make sure you get all around. So, of course, during filming, I found out that this particular torch does not like to be used upside down. So I have switched back to my old little trusty torch that I actually am reusing from a soldering kit. So let's try again. Well, there you have it. We made a quick, easy creme brulee. And by quick, apart from the 3 hours in the fridge, everything else was pretty quick. And now with that melted sugar on top, let's see if you can hear it with the microphone. You hear that nice little crackle on them. And then we'll get this nice and close for you guys. Nice and delicious. Should be able to punch right through. Yeah, and look at that. Nice custardy on the inside. Melted sugar on top. That's some good stuff. Be back. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos going forward. Some of the stuff is going to be stuff that I do know, tips that I have, and some of the other stuff is going to be things I'm trying out brand new, places I go. And if you enjoy this, consider hitting that like button and subscribing, you know, the usual stuff. And hope you enjoy. If you guys end up making this recipe, put it in the comments. Let me know how it turned out, how you would change it, and what you used if you didn't have certain aspects of this video. So, all right, enjoy. Oh man, I'm gonna end up eating this entire batch, all of them.